Inconvenience of road users. Some youth use to increase volume of car radios, especially at traffic lights, or while driving in public market streets. This is uncivilized behavior lead to hurt feelings. You have the right to listen to what you wish of music in different broadcast programs, but in appropriate way and at low volume. Vehicles producing sounds annoying other is a violation punished by 300 Qatari riyals and 3 points. It is prohibited to stop on the yellow box. Do not enter to the area of traffic intersection in case of stop of traffic motion because of traffic jam in the direction you want to go, because entering to the area of intersection will cause blocking of the intersection and obstruct the road to others. Failure to follow guidelines illustrated on any mark placed or engraved on the road surface is a violation punished by 1,000 Qatari riyals. 16. Failure to give way to vehicles that want overtake your vehicle form the left side. In case of driving in a highway at the speed limit allowed to this road, this does not mean to keep driving at the left lane of the road, and do not allow vehicles that want to overtake your vehicle complete overtaking process. You are not responsible to commit others with maximum speed limit of the road, there is someone else do this job. Remember that there are other users of the road have rights, and has the right to not obstruct them. There are vehicles carrying persons in serious condition, do not be a stumbling block to save their lives. Failure to adhere with lanes carriageway rules is a violation punished by 500 Qatari riyals. Points system in traffic violations. Points system in traffic violations. Driving license will be withdrawn in traffic violations committed by the driver for the periods indicated below, if total points reach to the limit indicated next to each of them. 3 months if total points reached 14 points in the first time. 6 months if total points reached 12 points in the second time. 9 months if total points reached 10 points in the third time. 1 year if total points reach 8 points in the fourth time. Driving license will be withdrawn finally if total points reached 6 points in the fifth time. In this case, a new license will not be given except after passing the specified driving tests. To give driving license for the first time after at least 1 year from date of withdrawal of the driving license. Cases of points removal. Points will be removed automatically in the 2 following cases. If the license was withdrawn according to previously mentioned point system in traffic violations. If the driver did not commit any other traffic crime within 1 year from date of last committed crime. Violations punished by points. Crossing red traffic light or manual signals. 7 points. Driving a vehicle in the opposite side in highways or ring road. 6 points. Driving a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, drugs or any other psychotropic substances. 6 points. Exceeding speed limit more than 30 km per hour. 1 point. Exceeding speed limit more than 40 km per hour. 2 points. Exceeding speed limit more than 50 km per hour. 3 points. Exceeding speed limit more than 60 km per hour. 4 points. Driving a motor vehicle carelessly or in cautions, or in a way that subjects person's life and monies to risk. 4 points. Driving a motor vehicle without brakes or faulty brake or unfit for use. 4 points. Driving a motor vehicle with a driving license not licensed for this vehicle. 3 points. Driving a motor vehicle with a driving license decided to be withdrawn or terminated its validity. 3 points. Committing an act violating public morals or traditions in the vehicle or allow it. 3 points. Driving an unlicensed motor vehicle. 3 points. Driving a motor vehicle without number plate. 3 points. Driving a motor vehicle with its number plate issued from the licensing authority with changing some numbers, or with plates did not issue from the licensing authority listed in its numbers of the original plates or different numbers. 3 points. List unreal data intentionally in one of the forms or applications submitted to obtain a driving license of a vehicle or temporary driving license, or issuance of replacement of any of them. 3 points. Using a motor vehicle in a purpose allocated for it. 3 points. Obstruct or block traffic motion intentionally in public roads. 3 points. Driving a vehicle producing noisy sounds. 3 points. Driving a motor vehicle emitting heavy smoke or bad smell. 3 points. Driving a vehicle flying or leaking from its flammable substances or materials harmful to public health or affecting road safety. 3 points. Driving a vehicle falling from its load things constitute risk to road users. 3 points. Moving on road shoulders. 3 points. Turning, U-turning, or returning to the opposite direction. 3 points. Replacement of an essential part of the vehicle without written permit from the licensing authority. 3 points. Handing over the motor vehicle by its owner, the person licensed in his name, or who possessing it, to a person has no valid driving license to drive such a vehicle, or without driving license, or any other license required by the law. 2 points. Driving a motor vehicle with unclear number plates or illegible numbers. 3 points. Driving a motor vehicle with one number plate or change place, color or shape of the plates issued from the licensing authority. 1 point. Refrain from providing a driving license or vehicle license, or any other license required by the law for military persons in police force. 1 point. Violation of transport vehicles to loading requirements. 1 point. Violation of transport vehicles to vehicle dimensions, weight, width, and height. 1 point. Driving a vehicle subjected to an accident that affected its balance, tire, or one of them. 1 point. Using lights, loudspeakers, horns, or any other devices than those licensed by the law. 1 point. Failure to adhere with meaning of road line or traffic signs. 1 point. Parking on the handicapped parking lots. 3 points. The most common traffic violations. The violations for which the vehicle seized traffic department manager or his deputy may issue an administrative order to seize any motor vehicle for a period not exceeding 90 days. According to a memorandum from the person who seized the violation or investigate it, in the following cases: driving in the road without number plates or with number plates did not issued from the licensing authority, or replace its plates with another one, even if it holds the same numbers, or make changes on its numbers. Driving in the road after withdrawing its driving license. Violation of requirements of using commercial plates, under test plates or temporary entry plates. Driving it by a person who has no driving license, or his license invalid for its driving. Driving it carelessly or negligently that subjects its driver, passengers or other to risk. Driving it in the road without its meeting requirement of safety and durability, or its invalidity for use, or without silencer. Or driving it without brakes or insufficient lights at night. Its participation in a race on the road without a written permit or in violation to the permit. Committing an act violating public morals or traditions in the vehicle or allow it. Violation of vehicle driver to traffic lights. Seize its driver under the influence of alcohol, drug or any other psychotropic substances. Using it in a purpose not listed in its registration certificate or driving license. Using it after performing essential changes in its body or color without written permit from the licensing authority. Driving it in the opposite direction, turning or U-turning in the opposite direction. Emission of heavy smoke or producing noisy sounds from it. Failure of drivers of different types of passengers' cars, transport cars, truck, motor vehicles and equipment, tractors, and motor vehicle that tows a trailer or semi-trailer. To commit to drive at the right side of the road or overtaking other vehicles. Using any means of hiding vehicle windows, without written permit issued from the licensing authority. Leave it neglected in the road. Exceeding of specified weights or lengths by vehicle drivers. Parking of transport cars, tractors, trailers and semi-trailers in places unlicensed to park in. Traffic violations that may not agree on their reconciliation. Traffic violations will be presented to the competent court to consider. It leads to the imposition of the following sanctions. Driving a motor vehicle without obtaining a license, or with a license that does not license driving such vehicle. Imprisoned for a period not less than 1 month and not more than 3 years, and a fine not less than 10,000 Qatari riyals and not more than 50,000 Qatari riyals, or by one of the two sanctions, and when repeated, sanction will be imprisoned for a period not less than 1 week and not more than 3 years, and a fine not less than 20,000 Qatari riyals and not more than 50,000 Qatari riyals. Handing over the motor vehicle by its owner, or who possessing it, to a person has no valid driving license to drive such a vehicle, or without driving license, or any other license required by the law. Perform a race by motor vehicles, motorcycles, bicycles or persons on the road without written permit from the licensing authority, or failure to commit with the requirements specified by the licensing authority. Perform constructions, maintenance, demolition, or make pits that obstruct traffic motion or cause risk to road users without obtaining a consent from the licensing authority, or failure to put necessary alert and warning marks and follow instructions and guidelines of the licensing authority. Committing an act violating public morals or traditions in the vehicle, or allow it by vehicle driver. Damaging traffic marking or their parts or move it, change its meaning, features, direction or damage it or the road. Imprison for a period not less than 1 month and not more than 3 years, and a fine not less than 10,000 Qatari riyals and not more than 50,000 Qatari riyals, or by one of the two sanctions, and when repeated, sanction will be doubles in its minimum limit. Driving a motor vehicle carelessly or in cautions, or in a way that subjects person's life and monies to risk. Driving a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, drugs or any other psychotropic substances. Escape or try to escape in case of committing an accident, or if there is an order to stop from a policeman in MOI, or a person authorized in the empowerment of traffic law. Imprison for a period not less than 1 month and not more than 3 years, and a fine not less than 10,000 Qatari riyals and not more than 50,000 Qatari riyals, or by one of the two sanctions, and when repeated, sanction will be doubled in its minimum limit. Obtaining or try to obtaining a new vehicle driving license, or personal driving license during the period of withdrawing the original vehicle license or personal license. Imprison for a period not less than 1 week and not more than 1 year, and a fine not less than 3,000 Qatari riyals and not more than 10,000 Qatari riyals, or by one of the two sanctions. Failure of vehicle driver to aid injuries in case of occurrence of an accident on the road and injury of a person or more, and failure to inform police immediately. Or moving vehicle from the accident place without permission from the police if unnecessary for aid an injured. Imprison for a period not less than 1 week and not more than 1 year, and a fine not less than 3,000 Qatari riyals and not more than 10,000 Qatari riyals, or by one of the two sanctions. Refrain of vehicle owner or give false information about name and address of the violator. Sanction will be the same sanction decided for vehicle driver who commit this violation. Refusal of insurance companies operating in the state to issue an insurance for the benefit of others on motor vehicles. A fine of 10,000 Qatari riyals, and in case of repetition, within the 6 months following date of issuance of the previous final judgment, sanction is doubled. Traffic violations that may agree on their reconciliation, the most common. Failure to commit with traffic lights. 6,000 Qatari riyals. Failure to commit with traffic policeman hand signals. 6,000 Qatari riyals. Driving the vehicle in the opposite direction. 6,000 Qatari riyals. Using the vehicle in an unlicensed purpose. 3,000 Qatari riyals. Reversing in the public road or at intersections without giving a signal. 1,500 Qatari riyals. Driving a vehicle without lights at night. 1,000 Qatari riyals. Obstructing traffic motion. 500 Qatari riyals. Safety belt, driver or passenger. 500 Qatari riyals. Failure to give way to police and ambulance vehicles during their motion in a mission. 1,000 Qatari riyals. Change lane, turning or U-turning without giving a signal. 500 Qatari riyals. Failure to follow pedestrian lights. 500 Qatari riyals. Disturbing or obstructing traffic motion at intersections. 500 Qatari riyals. Preoccupation of driver in watching any visual material while driving television. 500 Qatari riyals. Failure to follow guidelines illustrated on any mark placed or engraved on the road surface. 1,000 Qatari riyals. Failure to keep a sufficient safety distance. 1,000 Qatari riyals. Stopping at a place that obstructs exit of another car. 300 Qatari riyals. Parking in a place not allocated for parking. 300 Qatari riyals. Using horn without imminent risk. 300 Qatari riyals. Failure to give way in traffic at roundabouts. 300 Qatari riyals.